Pair of game threes on the NHL menu this evening, and here to dive into the sportsbook side of it is a three-headed sticky puck monster consisting of DraftKings contributor Jeff Ulrich and this dynamic RotoWire duo, AJ Scholes and Paul Bruno. Guys, the Islanders and Bruins tied at 1, moving to the barn. New York is the dog with Boston at minus 141 on the money line. Which side are you backing, Jeff?
I'm gonna go with the Isles here. I'm gonna go with the home team, kind of getting a little bit disrespected at the odds of plus 120. Looks like Semyon Varlamov seems likely to get the start, even if he doesn't get the start. I mean, going back to Sorokin, whatever, that's fine. But Varlamov's home split's very, very good this year. 12-4-3 in terms of his home record, a .93 save percentage at home. It's going to be a tough nut to crack for the Boston Bruins. We've seen the Isles do this at home all year, just rely on their goaltending. Yes, they're allowing a ton of shots on goal, but I also expect to see Matthew Barzal, Jordan Eberle get on track at some point. Eberle scored 14 of his 18 goals at home this year. I think the Isles are a very good bet here at plus 120. At the very least, I see another one-goal game, and why not side with the underdog in that scenario?
Paul, how disrespectful are these odds to the Islanders?
They are disrespectful. Let me make the case for both teams real quick. This game represents a big opportunity for the Islanders to assert themselves and take control of the series. Coming home after a split in Boston, that notion is relevant because we're now seeing almost full houses in money rinks south of the border. This year's Islander squad is a little different than the one we've been used to in the past years. They have now got two quality scoring lines to go along with that team-wide commitment to physicality and strong close checking. So now they can score a little more than they have in the past. And I'm a little bit concerned, though. Jeff touched on it. Barzal struggled so far this postseason. And that's one of the reasons why I lean to Boston. Here's the rest of that story. The Bruins are an excellent road squad. They have the perfection line, which we all know will show up. But they also have a solid second line, too, ever since Taylor Hall joined the fold. And they've now beaten the Islanders 4-5 with him in tow. I've seen this script before from the Bees, too, regaining home ice advantage with a determined road effort. They may be forced to play more than 60 minutes to get that W, and I think it'll be appointment viewing for me tonight.
Okay, AJ, which side you backing?
I'm going to go with Jeff on this one, and I'll take the Islanders on the money line at that plus 120 value. In addition to that, look, I'm going to give up the extra half a goal with the alternate total at over 5.5, which you can get on the DK Sportsbook at plus 133. Both games have gone well over that with 7 total goals in each of those contests. And I anticipate we'll continue to see some offense here. If you want to go all the way up close to that 7, you can get over 6.5 goals at plus 215. But I will settle for over 5.5 in addition to that money line on the Isles.
Let's get to that other game here, guys. The Canes were on the short end of a couple well-played 2-1 contests on their home ice against Tampa Bay. But, hey, they've been in this position before, right? 2006, anyone? Down 2-0 to the Canadiens before storming back. They went in 6. They lift Lord Stanley that year. Carolina is a plus 146 dog down in Tampa Bay. AJ, you and Jeff are all about this team as cup contenders. Does the comeback start tonight?
I mean, it absolutely has to, right? I mean, if they're going to pull it off, it has to start tonight. It's a must-win game for them, and I like the value at plus 146 here. They just need to break through on Vasilevsky. Now, I get that's something they did just 15 times during the regular season. They faced him 7 of the 8 matches. And honestly, on top of that, I don't mind giving up a little juice here on the under in this one, when you consider that on the year, the Hurricanes averaged just 2.5 goals, lowest against any team they faced during the regular season, while allowing just 2.13 goals per game against Tampa Bay, also their lowest during the regular season. So I expect another low number here, 2-1, maybe a 3-1 here, and I expect Carolina to come out hard and fast and take it to Vasilevsky right away.
Yeah, Jeff, can Carolina solve Vasilevsky between the pipes? He's been the difference maker in this series.
Yeah, he's definitely been the difference maker. Look, Carolina's outshot Tampa Bay 70-45 thus far, which again really speaks to how tempting this money line is for Carolina. They're up to plus 148 right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook. You know, again, I mean, I'm not going to belabor the point too much. AJ basically just made the point for me, but I mean, how long can you keep Sebastian Aho and that, like, these 3 balanced scoring lines off the score sheet? Jordan Staal Svechnikov, I kind of expect maybe to see some scoring there tonight. So I'm very interested in the Hurricanes. I'm on both underdogs here. I think you could play both. You get one win, you're going to be in the profit tonight, assuming you balance your units appropriately. But I actually think you're going to see some goals here too. So maybe I will go against AJ in the fact that I actually would lean to the over. I think that once the Carolina Hurricanes break through, you could see them win in big fashion. Now, if it doesn't happen tonight, I'm done with this series. I'm just going to take Tampa Bay to win the rest of the way, because I think I have talked up the Hurricanes for about a week now, and they've done nothing. So this is it. This is the Alamo for the Hurricanes, but I am still in their camp for at least one more night.
Now we'll see if they can break that Ulrich curse this evening. Paul,
Yes.
Are you riding the dog?
You know what? Jeff and AJ look like more teammates more than AJ and myself now. All of a sudden, they're both on the Canes to take that big step forward to getting back in the series tonight. They really do have a talented team in Carolina. They showed that throughout the season. But the Bolts are not just any opponent, guys. They're the defending Cup champs. They know that they need to complete at least one series win in short order en route to that defense of their Cup victory last year. They took a big step in that direction by winning the 2 road games, and I don't think they're going to stop tonight. I think they find a way to push the visitors to the brink of a quick elimination with a narrow win at home. And the more I think about it, I may well use picture in picture, but I think I got to also order these guys matching sweaters.
That would be absolutely adorable. Paul, which player prop from one of these games do you like tonight?
Look, the perfection line is where I go shopping for a very likely good outcome in playoff props tonight, thanks to the 3 of the best big game players in the league over the last few years. While the wingers have grabbed many of the headlines for their scoring prowess in the last 2 seasons, it's their center who has earned my grudging respect for a long, long time, and that's Patrice Bergeron. He's shown an uncanny knack for scoring the most important goals in the most critical circumstances for many years, and I've seen too many of them up close and personal, affecting my favorite club. So I'm on him tonight, and I say he does it again and offers a nice payout at plus 205.
Yeah, the captain igniting that comeback in game 2. AJ, what about you? Player prop you like?
Well, if you look at Carolina versus Tampa in the DK Sportsbook tonight, there's a couple of guys that come in at minus 118, so practically even money on those ones. And that includes Andre Palat, Dougie Hamilton, and Andrei Svechnikov to get a point in this game. Personally, I'm going to double down on the Canes tonight. Svechnikov and Hamilton, again, minus 118 to get at least a point. But if you're on the Lightning to take the 3-0 series lead, I would look for Palat. Same thing, minus 118 for a point.
Jeff, which one are you chasing?
Yeah, since AJ and I are now teammates, I do like that Svechnikov call. I like that he's playing with Jordan Staal, but I'm going to go to the Islanders and stick up for the guy I mentioned before. Jordan Eberle is plus 100 to score a point. He's got 5 points in his last 6 games. I know that top line for the Islanders hasn't been dominant, but Jordan Eberle is a big game player going back to his junior career. Like I said, he's got 14 of his 18 goals have come at home this year. I think you will see him show up on the score sheet again. He's just a sneaky good clutch game player. Wouldn't shock me if he ended up, at some point in the winning goal or a clutch goal for the Islanders tonight. So you can take him in the goal scoring department. He's plus 285 to score a goal. I just like taking him to get a point. That's plus 100. I like those odds.
Well, in the DFS department, guys, you can go showdown format or classic for these 2 contests. Which is your favorite play here, AJ?
Well, for me, it's Anthony Beauvillier riding an 8-game point streak during which he's racked up 4 goals and 4 assists, including a trio of power play points. He comes in at just 5,400 in classic. I think you have to get him in your lineup tonight. I'd also consider captaining him in the showdown at 12-6. That puts him only the 6th highest among the skaters. So I think it's affordable enough that you can build out a lineup around him. Whether you go heavy Islanders stack in showdown or you go classic, I do think you need to very seriously consider taking that entire line. For classic, Brock Nelson, 48, Josh Bailey, 4K. That's a huge discount on some guys that have put up plenty of points in the postseason.
Jeff, who should people seriously consider rostering tonight?
I mean, look, obviously, if you're thinking about Carolina, everyone's going to be going to Sebastian Aho. We've talked about him a ton. You can do that, but you can also go to this Svechnikov, Jordan Staal pairing that's really cheap and not many people are going to go to. The 2 have produced pretty good. I mean, Jordan Staal had 4 goals in the last series, including the series winner Svechnikov, 6 shots on goal in the last game. These two are really cheap, 4,300 for Stahl, 5,100 for Svechnikov. I like pairing them in classic format and maybe even using the winger there as a captain, a sneaky captain, because again, we haven't seen many goals in that series. So if he does get on the score sheet, maybe gets 5 shots on goal again, could easily be the high score.
And Paul, real quick, what's your favorite DFS strategy here tonight?
You know that I like the goalies in a showdown format, so I'm going to go with Tuukka Rask. Like Bergeron, this guy's a big game player, responding in many situations like this one in recent years. He gives the Bees an edge over whichever goalie shows up for the Islanders in this one tonight, and allows the Bees to regain that home ice advantage with the big road win tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes to overtime too, which means that the shot totals could be higher than normal and lead to an extraordinary game score for the winning goalie. I don't think there's any shooter on either side that can compete with that.